Welcome to Art Unveiled, the podcast where we explore the hidden stories behind the world's most fascinating artworks. Today, let's dive into a truly unique piece, the bust of Pharaoh Akhenaton, part of the Louvre's renowned collection in Paris. Joining me today are two very particular guests, Dr. Carter, an archaeologist working about the new Egyptian empire.
Hello, everyone.
And on the other side, we have Professor Hall, an art historian working in classical Egyptian art.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get into it. For our listeners that haven't been to the Louvre yet, let me paint you a picture. This piece is currently housed in a department of Egyptian antiquities, in a room dedicated to the new Egyptian empire. Imagine yourself walking in, you're admiring the stunning architecture, and suddenly, on your left, you cross your eyes with this gigantic pharaoh statue, observing you from the sky. Professor Hall, as someone who knows the Louvre's collection so well, how does this piece compare to the other representations of leaders that are displayed?
It's an excellent question. The Louvre's Egyptian department includes some remarkable examples of classical Egyptian art, symmetrical, idealized, and eternal. Take the seated statue of Ramses II, for example. Ramses is depicted as the perfect mix between strength and authority, with broad shoulders, a muscular chest, and an expression of godlike confidence. His face is idealized, almost generic in its perfection, which was intentional, of course. Egyptian art of that period wanted to portray the pharaoh as a symbol of divine order.
About this, since Amenhotep I was Akhenaton's father, would you say that we could see some hints of this art transition?
Well, yes, definitely. Amenhotep III's reliefs features are slightly more different than those of earlier pharaohs, with a naturalism influence, fuller cheeks, and more detailed facial expressions. However, the shift to the Amenhotep style under Akhenaton feels like Akhenaton rejected the past entirely to create something completely new.
Dr. Carter, how would you say this radical artistic change can reflect the political or maybe even cultural changes of Akhenaton's reign?
At first, Akhenaton's reign was one of the most revolutionary periods in Egyptian history. He abandoned the polytheist religion to move toward a worship center of Aten with the sun god. This religion reform was also deeply political by shifting focus away from the traditional gods and priesthood, and he centralized religions and political power around himself. If you pay any attention, the artistic change we see in the art piece reflects that evolution. By portraying himself with androgynous features, he moved away from the distant image of early ruler. This could symbolize a merging of masculine and feminine aspects, emphasizing his role as the universe intermediary between the gods and humanity.
Professor Hall, what do you think this tells us about the bigger role of art during those political times?
Well, I would like to say art in such times becomes a powerful tool for messaging. Akhenaton used the Amarna style to visually reinforce his ideological shift. By embracing distortions and naturalism, he was signaling a break from the past traditions. Art became a manifesto, a way to project his revolutionary vision to his people and beyond.
Dr. Carter, would you say this challenges a representation of Egyptian art?
Absolutely. For a long time, people thought of Egyptian art and society as static. This art piece is just a testament to how art reflects not just the ideal of society, but also its conflict, ambitions, and vulnerabilities. And it's also worth noting how precarious such movement can be. After Akhenaton's death, his successor quickly came back to the old religion and artistic convention. The Amarna style include this bust become a symbol of the problematic and short-lived era. I think we can say it's a totally unique concept.
What an interesting topic. We could talk about it for hours. The bust of Akhenaton isn't just a piece of art. It is a window into a very special moment in history. Thank you both for being here today and helping us unveil the mystery about this new empire. And thanks to you, listeners, for joining us on this episode of Art Unveiled. Until next time, go visit the Louvre, step into this gallery, and take a moment to go back in time.